So hi everyone, welcome to this video, and if you're new here, a very warm welcome to the channel. I must just say at the beginning, as I like to, well, welcome to those who have recently subscribed. It's really great to share this channel with you. So this question is one for you, really, rather than one for me. Is now the right time for you to be investing in buy-to-let property? And it really arises out of all the noise that's come out of the media recently. I'm sure it hasn't escaped your attention. Stats like this, I'm on the Office for National Statistics website. Stats that say things like the average UK house price has increased by 10.6% over the year, and the average UK house price is now £264,000. which is a £25,000 increase within a year. And those sort of stats sound really interesting, and they certainly grab your attention. The question really is, well, what's it like for the average investor? In this case, what's it like for me? And maybe what's it like for you? And if you're not yet involved in property, what could it be like? And is now sort of a good time to start getting involved in buy-to-let? Now, I mention this because these stats do sound quite interesting. Who wouldn't want £25,000 a year if you own a property? But just notice, as I come down another bullet point, the average increase over the year in England is up 9.8% to £281,000. So that's just in England. So the question really is, what's that like for people who invest locally? Because let's face it, no one really invests nationally. Well, perhaps they do, but I certainly don't. I just invest in England and a very small part in terms of the region, East Midlands, and then just a very few different sub-areas within there. So is this illustrative of where I live? And I'm going to sort of work you through it to see what sort of returns we might have got over the last year, but also give you the tools to see what returns are like for where you live. All the links below for these websites will be in the description below. So here I am, I've come over now to the land registry data, and you can see I'm on England, which is where we just left off, on the ONS website, and I've got that same time horizon, and you can see if you come over to the end for all property types, is in purple, all property types, you can see that yes indeed, in August 2021 the average price for a house in England was indeed £280,921, so rounded up £281,000. So it's nice that those two marry up, they agree. And in the last year you can see it's come from £258,175. But the thing is, we don't invest, as I said, in all property types. So I'm going to click on this tab here, and I'm just going to, if you zoom in and zoom out, mouse wheel, you can actually click on regions. And if I click on here, East Midlands, which is where all of our properties are. And actually, I don't buy all house prices, all house types either. The vast majority of our properties are terraced. We do have a handful of semi-detached, but the vast majority are terraced houses. So how does that stat headline on the ONS website compare? And here you can see that last year the average terraced house was £152,281, and now it's £166,438. So what, a £14,000 increase? That's almost half, isn't it, of the or close to half of the £25,000 UK average. So you can already say, well, actually that's nowhere near illustrative for your own little area. Absolutely true. The question for you though, would £14,000 in that last year, tax-free money by the way, would that have been helpful? Would you have wanted it? Would you have turned it down? You know, and you can answer that question. And you might say, well actually, hang on a second, house prices go down as well as going up. And that's true, you know, it could well fall in £14,000. But I'd then like you to expand your time horizon. Rather than a year, we're still on the land registry data, just a website with different setup now. And here I've got the East Midlands tab, and now I'm going from September 1995 to September 2021, and I'm just on terraced houses. And here you can see that the average house back in 1995 was £32,000, and it's now £166,000. So remember, property investing is a long-term event. So yes, house prices haven't gone straight up from this point to this point. Absolutely not. You can see they've got ups and downs, with the biggest dip, of course, being around 2007, 2008, the pricing crash. So you could say, well, actually, if you bought here at 121 seems to be the highest. then would you have bought it there? And the answer is, well, I would have done, yeah. Even though I wouldn't have known the future, you can say, because I take the long-term view that it's most likely, again, you have to make your own decision on this, that house prices are going to go up for the long term, macroeconomics. So even if they here's a question: even if you now you know what happened in history, would you, assuming you had the funds, would you have bought a house for £120,000, knowing that by 2021 is going to be worth 166, even though you've lost £20,000 from here to here? Would you have done that? Would you have lost £20,000 and then gone up to back up to 160 odd? And the answer to me is yes. And the question is, well, you know, that's one house. Imagine if you had two houses, or that had happened to three houses, and so on. You can see where we're going. But let's just come back to our analogy that we have a £14,000 increase for terraced houses in the East Midlands. And the question is then, well, how many of those houses, for me, my job circumstance in my area, but for you, your circumstance, your area and your job, would you need to replace that income? And if you come over to this website, the salary calculator, you can just see. So the average wage in the UK, I believe, is about £31,500. And if you want to do this yourself, have a play. You put all your different details in and so on. And then you can show I get rid of weekly and daily, but you can show your salary per month and per year, and click calculate. So this is a £31,000 salary. You actually take home in 2021, after taxes and national insurance contributions, you know, what about pension and all the other things that get taken out, you're actually going to bring home £25,000 just over, made up of 12 monthly instalments of just over £2,000. So £25,000 if you're at the average salary in the UK. And that's an interesting figure, isn't it? Because didn't the ONS say that the average house price has gone up by £25,000? Well, we're not. That's the national average. We're not in the East Midlands, which is what we are in here, and it was about £14,000, wasn't it? So for me, if I was earning the average salary, then two of my properties in the last year have brought home the same amount as someone earning the average. That's not a brag, by the way. That's absolutely not. That's not my place. It's not my style. I'm merely doing this to compare, to illustrate. So the question for you is: look at your area, look at your salary, and see how many houses you would have owned to bring home the net income that you would have got last year or this year. And again, you might say, well, house prices don't go down, it's not always going to be up and long term. But here's the thing: can you foresee yourself potentially having a number of houses that will pay you that every single year, even if you hard bid? Remember, if you go back to 2 videos, you'll see that we forecasted capital appreciation based upon 5% growth. How many houses would you need to replace, just in capital appreciation, your annual salary? And that doesn't even include rental income on top. So there's some thoughts for you. Is now the right time for you to get involved in property? And here are some tools you can go away and play with and have a look at. So I hope you found that interesting, at least helpful, possibly. If you've got questions or comments, as always, please feel free to share them. I'd love your insight on this. Share what you think. It's always great to hear from you. As always, thank you ever so much for your support. It's great to have your company. And once again, thanks for those who have recently subscribed. Welcome to the community. My name's Josh Harrison. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.